Hello, good morning. Good morning. This magic feeling of waiting for somebody to show up for your morning live. Hey, hello. Hello, guys. So many familiar names. Hello. Yes, if you're here to watch me for 20 minutes, yay. Alex, hi. Alex, I wonder, do we know each other in real life? Because I think we've been friends on Instagram for a while. Hello, Tatiana. Tatiana is already laughing, which is great. I like when people laugh at the wait for people to show up in the morning. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy that your morning is already funny. You're welcome for the TTT Cafe. Yeah, TTT Cafe, if you don't know, it's like a speaking club for teachers that we usually have. We had 3 in May, but the next one is going to be in June. So, and we'll post an announcement here. So anyway, well, I'm gonna start talking because that's what I do. Hello everybody, if you don't know me, and my project, my name is Anita and I do Teachers Teach Teachers. This is a professional development program for English teachers all over the world. We're starting new groups in June, so if you want to join, we have our information on the website, and the link is in the profile. Yeah, good morning. So this is live number 11 out of 30. I hope this is my challenge. I do lives every morning at 9:30 Moscow time to speak about some teaching stuff, and this week is about control. Teachers desire to control everything, and their wish for students to have more autonomy, which is kind of very hard. It's very hard to have both. Anyway, yay, hi, hello, thank you for giving me a signal that you are here to watch and talk. So if you watched yesterday live and you'd like to share some thoughts, please do that. Oh, I forgot to delete that, by the way. Yeah, I do delete all the lives. They stay for 24 hours in IGTV and then I delete them. So and today I'm really prepared. I have the whole page of my beautiful handwriting, let's call it like this. I could have been a doctor, according to this handwriting. I met an old friend at TTT I haven't seen for ages. Wow, this is amazing. Small world. Wow, this is really cool. I'm happy about that. Yeah, wow. Oh, super. So more reasons to join next time. You never know who you can meet there. So today and yesterday, I think we started speaking about about us wanting to control so many things in our students' life, and maybe sometimes doing the learning for them instead of them when they should be doing this learning. And so today I'm gonna speak about what I do for my students, what I don't do for my students, and please. If you could write your story, your strategy and your technique, what you do and what you don't do for your students, this would be really valuable for all of us, because I'm just one teacher sharing. If everybody shares, this will be many teachers sharing, and more knowledge and more productive life for everybody. So basically this is the idea of Teachers Teach Teachers, is that nobody possesses the secret wisdom of everything. Yeah, we all share and we all can learn from each other. So what I do with my students might not work with you and your students, because we're different people. So unfortunately there are some techniques that are really personal and depend on your mood sometimes, or your personality and your students' personality and the reality that you're working. And so so that's why I'm asking other people to share. That's why I have guests at my live. So you have a broader picture, so please comment. I would really like this to be very active. So first of all, that maybe, sometimes, the question that teachers ask, who is responsible? So when we have a class, and so who's responsible for what's going on? And here, we might just mention that I think teachers are responsible for the teaching, and students are responsible for the learning, and they really are responsible. So the learning is not an easy process that happens to you. You know that, teachers, that we need to be active for the learning, the learners, not only the teachers. The learners have to be, have to put some effort into it for to make the learning happen, and I guess they need to know that. So we can actually, I'm going to speak about this a bit later, but I usually have like introductory, it's like, it's not the first lesson exactly, but the first meet up with the student, where we have like a test or a chit chat to get to know each other better. I tell the student about my methods, the way I teach, and then I also like about maybe a little lecture on how they will be learning, and what they might expect from me, and what they should expect from themselves. So they should learn, and they should know that. And I remember last year we had a conference in Yaroslavl, and we had a business section. I was in charge of that. I was moderating and like putting up the whole program. And we had also a talk on responsibility. And I think there was like the speaker made like kind of a vote who is responsible for the outcome of the lesson, of the course. And I remember like going back from lunch with another speaker, and he was so if you know him, like Richard Graham from Genki English, and he's also like a motivational speaker and like a business trainer for English teachers, and an English teacher himself. And then he doesn't speak Russian well. He knows some Russian, so he asked me like, I listened to the talk, but I actually like didn't get to what was the end result of that voting? What did you decide? Who is responsible? And I didn't have time to answer, because he said, of course, the teacher. And I was like, wow, really? What about like students doing their homework, and like students even showing up for the lessons? And he said, why would you work with other students? And this is, I think, a very interesting thought. So sometimes the students might really want you to put all the knowledge into their head, and okay, let them go. And I mean, if you're a freelancer like me, or if you have any chance to do that, we have a possibility not to work with the students who believe that all the knowledge should be put onto shelves in their heads. Tamara, is kind of a funny story. But there is also another side. And again, I teach adults, and I'm an adult myself, and I'm a language learner, and I know how hard it is to find time for homework. If you've ever learned a second language, like when you are not at university already, or like, I don't know, after 25 or something, and having a busy life, you know how hard it is to find like time for homework. It's awful, it's terrible. And I mentioned this yesterday. I talked to a teacher friend, colleague on Friday, and she told me many useful stories. And one of the stories was, she has this amazing student, and she's a very relaxed, a very laid back teacher, and I never she's not the one to push and to make and to punish people for not having done their homework. But then she said that sometimes, this is what I do as well, and I'm gonna stop doing that. Sometimes when the student doesn't do their homework, she would say something like, something funny, like make a joke, or make a funny face, and even that tiny things can make the student feel guilty. And what we don't want them to feel is feel guilty about not having done their homework, because actually this ruins everything. They're adults. In my case, starting with teenagers, they're kind of adults. They're responsible for their learning, so they know what they are doing or not doing, and how this can affect their future results. But we definitely do not want them to feel guilty, because this is gonna ruin the whole thing for them. So my experience of teaching Italian, I had this amazing teacher. I really love my Italian teacher. He's great. And I stopped. And so still, every time I speak about Italian, I say that I was a very bad student. And I feel that. And this is maybe not something that he made me feel. Maybe it was we did it together. But this is not the feeling I want to associate with learning Italian, that I'm a bad student. I didn't have any like specific goal to learn Italian. It was just for fun. I speak Spanish. I just wanted to speak Italian as well because I liked it and I had fun. I really enjoyed our meetups with the teacher, our talks, very elementary but still talks. I never did my homework, so this was my first time I realized that even when you're a teacher you don't do your homework sometimes, or never. And so this, I'm still wondering why, but it kind of didn't feel important at that time. But still, that guilt of not having done the homework, of not doing the homework constantly, still with me. This is something I would not recommend, and this is maybe something that's keeping me from going back to Italian or any other language actually again. So yeah, and as you know, I have this. We're doing this live in the account of Teachers Teach Teachers, and we have groups of teachers who teach each other with the students' book. And sometimes, so they would, when people are joining, they would say how much homework are we going to be doing. Most of the groups that we have here are quite autonomous. We don't have a structure or a strategy like for what the classroom should look like, because this is what we wanted. We want the teachers to recreate the atmosphere they have in their real classroom. So we would, have a look at so many different teaching styles, and so I think the general rule on the groups, we don't have homework because usually we don't have time for it. So why would you give something that a person will not do and then feel guilty about not having done it? So I'm planting that thought into your head, and maybe you could agree or disagree with me, and I'll have a look at the comments because I saw there were some in the chat. Okay, morning. I want to do a lot, but we are constrained by the textbook, which is specific. This specific course book is always something when you can't choose it. I try to teach the idea that to learn you need to develop a sort of an obsession with the language and use it to have fun, to watch series, videos, use it to learn something beyond the language itself. Yeah, it could be. I agree. So for me also, I work on passion and emotions. Some people don't. So I think, some students really like the language, and some students like learning. And so we need to find this something that drives them as well. But usually I think we attract similar people. So it's very, if you like, if you work on passion, there's a very high chance that your students would do that. But with me, I have one student, he's like, I'm really amazed by what he does, and his English is his only hobby for now, and he does so much, and his progress is amazing. And he's very reserved, and so we're very different personalities, but he likes, digging into lexical stuff, watching films, then writing texts, and I can talk about him for forever, so I'll tell you about him anyway, because he's here on my plan. Anita, don't you think that due to the situation the market of the freelance will face competition and low prices? Okay, this is not exactly the topic here. We could speak about business on Thursday, so if you could ask this question on Thursday, I'll try to. Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'll have a Q&A on Thursday and I'll answer that then, if you don't mind. Or no homework, no questions. Any questions? Yeah. Have you lost any students due to the situation? No, I haven't. Dear private teachers, okay, so please answer somebody. So I think it's very important for our colleague. We can speak about business on Thursday. Natalia, so true, there are too many reasons to feel guilty in real life. Adding one more in relation to learning is not what we'd want. No, never. Thank you. I plan the idea of pre-lesson preparation, which changes the focus from doing exercises after a lesson into preparing to invest in the next lesson. Yes, so this is also, I think, that's what I like. My favorite type of homework is that, students know that I usually start our lesson with like, how are you? What have you been doing recently? What did you do at the weekend? So already all of them know to prepare a story. And because then we discuss this story, and it's usually, I really want to know what happened in their life, and they really want to share it with somebody, with me. So this is what they usually do, and this works miracles. The thing is that you can't change a language for, learn a language, I guess, for another person. Much depends on the ability of the student to work with the language on their own. I believe in self control for language learning. Yes, of course, they do lots of things on language learning. So the teacher can help, keep this so focus, direct them. Yeah, so we do know that if the person learns on their own, the results can be questionable. No homework, no progress is not exactly the truth. There will be progress, but not as, it could be better. I remember once working in a situation at university where students had to do their homework, and they were students, and they maybe had busy lives, but not as busy as my adult students. And of course, the same amount of hours with mandatory homework is always different results, but it doesn't mean that adults cannot learn a language. They can. It will just maybe take a while longer, and maybe they don't mind. Maybe I had a student once, she offered, like Anita, I can't do this on my own, but what I can do, I can book my time with you. So why don't we meet up extra time for doing something extra? So they can find time, and our maybe work here is to help them find that a way to work with the homework. Anyway, I'm still even not half through my page. I better start actually and go to the point. So when I was thinking of this live, I remembered a story absolutely not connected and not related to learning languages. Is that when we were children and we had some friends, maybe first, second year at school, maybe younger, maybe preschoolers, and these two brothers, and their mother sent them to our dacha for the summer. And I remember I was the only girl, so I was kind of responsible for the boys anyway, and I was a little bit older. And I remember I remember my mother telling me that their mother told her that they never eat. So it's like to make them eat, force them to eat, like to have breakfast, lunch, or whatever, is an impossible, unachievable task. My mama said, oh yeah, okay, sure. And then what she did, I still remember, I have a very vivid image of it. I don't really know if it's a very good parenting technique, but I definitely work with those two boys, and it works with homework. So what she did, she cooked the meal, and she put really tiny portions on their plates, really tiny. And she said, okay, I'm sorry, I forgot that we're so many, so this is all the food that we have. So I'm terribly sorry, but this is what you can eat. And they finished that very quickly, because when they knew there's nothing else coming, they were very worried about their stomachs. And then she said, oh sorry, yes, there is one extra. I forgot there is one extra pan with something. And so she puts a little bit extra. Yeah, and so in 3 interactions like that, they ate everything that she was planning them to have. And that what their mother would do, that she would cook everything and put the whole plate, full of porridge, which looks, I like porridge, but it can look, and they didn't want to eat the whole plate, but there was tiny bits, and that's it. They would eat everything and be very happy, and make my mother very happy. So everybody was happy. If you like the story, give me a sign, please. So I think the similar techniques work with homework. Again, as teachers, we want to show and do everything and give our students everything as much as possible. And it's very hard to restrain yourself and just give them gradual information about what they can do with the homework and what they can do at home. So again, as I already said, and I think I saw a question, I don't work at the university now. I used to. It was just 1 year. If students ignored, I warn the students that this is a attempt to study. So at university they had a rating system, so they didn't have, it was easier for them to do homework than to do the exam in the end of the year. So they would do the homework, and then we didn't need the exam, because basically their results were great. So what I usually do, I'm a freelancer, and as I said, I have an introductory talk with my students, and we brainstorm. Actually, I never tell them what they can do. I ask them, what do you think you can do at home? And they give me this whole range of ideas. Some of it comes from their previous experience, some of it comes from what they really want to do, and some of their hobbies. And yeah, so I never start first. I ask them, because this is something, I mean, they might not know how the English language works, but they do know how they can learn, because they're adult people. And ask them about the real time, if they, I mean, like all their details. And sometimes students say, no homework. I say, okay. Yeah, I tell them about the CFR, so how fast the process might take and how long it might take if they do nothing at home. And they say, yeah, okay, I understand, but this is okay. Okay, we agree. So as long as they know, yeah, and I'm not trying to hide some information from them, but then steps by steps they start doing something, because when they get interested in the language, maybe, and they want to prepare something for you, they want to surprise you with a story, they want to share something they love, they start doing it. So we don't need to push them, we need to wait. It's like now I'm a very amateur gardener. Yeah, I'm waiting for my seeds, you know, to start growing, to show some green signs that they are actually alive. So maybe something like that with our students. Just wait. Yeah, we can wait for them and give them, as I said yesterday, give them space to develop the need and the want to do something extra at home. So I give them time to think. I don't you don't have to tell me next time. We could, you know, be brainstorming these ideas, what you can do at home, like throughout our relationship. And so what I do maybe, yeah, so as we're focusing mostly on lexical side of the language, yeah, so I really what I need as a teacher, I need them to have this vocabulary somewhere. So maybe this is something, yeah, that I tell them, like several ideas how they could work with vocabulary. I tell them about Quizlet or about the notebook. I think have 50-50. Somebody does Quizlet, somebody writes it on paper. Yeah, so basically the homework would be and if if it's group class, I write everything that we have on the wall, because this is a wall I can write on with my group. Yeah, and they take a picture so they have it. And if it's a private student, I write. When we met face to face, I would write it on paper, and they would keep those sheets. And now, yeah, I use Google Docs. So with those paper things, my homework that I would give, like, please underline 5 or 7 expressions, copy them and throw this thing away. Yeah, so this would be it, and it's usually quite manageable. Or we could, or with some people we would do it in the end of the lesson. That's it. Then my question, yeah, in the end of when I finish the lesson, we have time to give the homework. Again, we could ask them, so what would you like to do at home? And they were like, whoa. And they are responsible for the amount and the type of the thing that they will be doing. Maybe they will say nothing. I'd like to relax this week. Perfect. Okay, and maybe they will do something. And again, yeah, if they choose to do something, and then next time we ask them gently. So this is something I really like now. I think I need to be working on. So even when they haven't done it, like not to make fun of it, but just to react somehow naturally. Yeah, because even a joke can plant these little seeds of guilt, and this is not what we want. And be really and support if they did their homework. Yeah, so really be interested, not only in the teaching and learning procedure of that, but just in the effort. Yeah, so thank them for the effort, and and just talk. If it's a story, discuss the story. If it's a video, discuss the video. So spend more time reflecting on this homework. If it's a group, okay, before I move to a group, I'll have a look at the comments. Okay, I think you like the porridge story. Okay, from our live, it is okay. Thank you. You're welcome. So if it's a group, so I think the first thing we learn as teachers, never give for homework something you'd like to start with, your next class with. So I never give texts to read. I never, so because somebody would do it, somebody won't, and then you're stuck. So I don't do that. Sometimes with the group I have this group, we've been together for a while, and they're quite autonomous students, and I would then and we have this text, and it can be like, it's pre-intermediate, they have long text, and they could do this at home, and because we are kind of not working with the workbook. And so then in the end of the lesson, I would say, like, we have this text, we can either read it at home, or we can read it together next time. What do you think we should do? And they say, maybe, somebody active would be, yes, we should read it at home, not to waste time in the classroom. I said, okay, can everybody really, do you all have time? So this will take you like 10-15 minutes. Do all of you have time to do that? And somebody would say, guys, honestly, I can't, I'm very busy, I have a business trip. Then we would not, so the group decision is not to read this text, they do something else. But if the group decides we can do that, they usually decide that they will exercise, text, whatever, and this is their group decision, and then they will all come up, they will all find time and come to class with this homework done, because as responsible adults they chose to do it, and it was not my decision to do that. And in my groups, I also, sometimes there is an active student who can be responsible for things. So like, it's about the very autonomous groups. So there is always somebody who wants to do extra. They can do extra, and they can do extra for the whole group. So I never do Quizlets for my groups. I do check the Quizlets that my students do, but I never do it for them. That's my strategy. You might disagree, but that's what works for me. And there's somebody in the group who does the Quizlet for everybody, and then everybody can see that their progress is really different from what they have, even like just playing with Quizlet cards. But so regularly they would have they would not have this good recall of vocabulary as the student who would be doing the cards. So, and you can make the students notice, you can show them, see, so this is our vocabulary person, this is our Quizlet person. Like every time we have like not a test exactly, but some task on like who first remembers the word or something like that, no matter. So the Quizlet person, and if they change, so the Quizlet, only the person who does the Quizlet will remember the words and phrases better. And other students will see that, and that will, help them, find this motivation to do that as well. And also, so when we give homework to the whole group, they're always like, next time somebody will be, oh, I didn't write it down, I forgot. And I don't write homeworks, like we have group chats, I don't write the task there. Usually a student from the group does it for me. Again, because it's not my choice to do something, maybe it's theirs, and I want them to take the full responsibility for this as well, so share this responsibility with me. But my task, again, I said, like, to provide with the whole range of opportunities, and their task is to choose the opportunity they like and maybe to follow it. That's why I really like the way the lexical approach works. And so this is the same metaphor when they give them, when we show them this huge field of lexical stuff, and they could and they don't have to learn everything, they can choose and work with something here. I think, I don't know, maybe it's because of my professional development as a teacher, or maybe it's because, I started working with a lexical approach. My students are really more autonomous now, because when they just don't have like this set of words, you learn it at home, but you have range of words, you choose what you want to learn at home. And of course, some of these words they want to learn, some of they don't. So this is the first step where they are responsible for their learning, and they can feel it, that they are actually equal partners in the same process. I'm responsible for this, for giving you're responsible for choosing and taking and working with something, and maybe bringing something back, like a story. I love those stories. And and then this is how we work. So I guess this is everything I wanted to say. Took me the whole 30 minutes. Is it autonomy only about homework? That's a very, very good question. Olga. So I tend to say homework, but yeah, I mean something that they do on their own. That would be the better term for that. But it's a very good. I think we can discuss it with. So Ekaterina, if I see you joined, but yeah, Ekaterina is going to be our guest tomorrow. We can discuss it with her. How much time should the homework check-in take? Do you give them answers if something takes us a lot of time? So if they, I'm trying to remember, it depends. I don't think we do actually check the homework. If it's something with the answers, I tell them to do the homework and check with the answers themselves, and then if there are any questions, we start with the questions. That's how we check the homework that has answers. If it's a story, we listen to the story and comment. If it's a writing, yeah, I usually like go through the writing together with my students so I could ask some questions. So we don't have time to check the homework, and all my students always know where to find answers, where to find keys, because this is how they work. So they do it even with the workbook. I think I forget to tell them which pages to do in the workbook. If we're working with the workbook, they do it on their own, and they ask me then, Anita, we've been doing this and that. Can you please tell us? I mean, I don't really understand, so I chose this. The answer says this. Why? So this is, I don't know, a couple of minutes. Thanks a lot. I love the way you combine psychology and teaching. Thank you, Anastasia. I'm a psychologist, so my first education is, but I mean, I think I forgot most of the stuff because the learning happened a while ago. That's why we're adding psychology for teachers at Teachers Teach Teachers for the year 2. We have a really qualified specialist, Ekaterina Redkina, who works for the Moscow State University, Lomonosov University, and yeah, so we have the whole series of webinars and workshops on what's important for teachers to know from psychology, cognitive psychology, behavioral psychology, so all types of psychology that is useful for teachers. So if you're, I mean, to reach that, you'll need to join year 1, and then in a year you'll have the psychology for teachers module, but by that time it will be already proof checked on other people, and it will be perfect. And if you are doing the year 2 with us now, we'll be experimenting with you, which is what we like doing, experimenting. Thank you for being with us, and we really hope you enjoyed. So our first webinar on psychology is in 2.5 weeks. Okay, I think I should get going. I'll see you all tomorrow, 9:30 here. So think about, so this is like your homework. What you can do is to think what you give for homework, how you react to students having done, not having done the homework. I think this is like really important to notice what your reaction is, and what you give, what you do. Don't you do too much? Yeah, so this is something I haven't talked about. Like, so every time, yeah, it's like, again, starting answering Olga's question is like, when I want to do something, do I have to do it, or maybe my students can do that, and this will be more valuable for them. Yeah, I forgot to mention that my students create tests for each other. They find like extra homework for each other, so they basically do all the extra possible stuff themselves, and yeah, so this saves me time. This is of course very selfish and very important, but I also believe that when you are searching for a video or for a material, you are learning so much, so why would you steal this learning from your students? Give it to them, and if you want to learn yourself, join Teachers Teach Teachers, and we can learn here. Thank you. Have a nice day, you too. New perfect morning routine. You're welcome, Olga. Don't get too used to it. We'll have I think this week will be our equator, but we'll think of something else for our morning routine, won't we? Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. Ciao.